Dodge, the accident guys are here to help. Call us, the accident guys, 877-88-SKY.
Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the accident guys.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or Avastin-capsid Pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Are you experiencing severe burning, numbness, tingling, weakness, loss of balance, and fall? Has neuropathy negatively affected your life? The Nerve MD, Dr. Shaoulian, a leading expert in the field of neuromuscular disorders, wants you to know that neuropathy is a treatable and reversible condition. Here's Eugene, an actual patient of the Nerve MD with his story.
The symptoms started about 11 years ago and progressively got worse. My arm was burning, I had excruciating pain all day. It was hard to do anything really with my hand.
And now?
I don't have any pain. I'm able to use my hand to do all the activities that I couldn't do before. I even went bowling for the first time in 11 years.
Dr. Shaoulian is a board-certified neurologist specializing in neuropathy with state-of-the-art techniques and treatments. The Nerve MD can pinpoint the cause and design a treatment plan to treat and even reverse your neuropathy. Call 877-88-NERVE. Regular Medicare and most PPO insurance accepted. The Nerve MD, 877-88-NERVE. That's 877-886-3783. The Nerve MD.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocate is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-1704. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ for the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmares today by visiting us online at PRA.com or call 800-575-1704. That's 800-575-1704. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people. This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts the day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Amazon Business. Unlock smart business buying with fast free delivery on millions of items and practical AI innovations that automate repetitive tasks. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
11:45. Good morning. I'm Larry Thrill in for Alex Silverman on the way here at KNX. If you want to fly first class next month, might be the time to just do it. KNX travel editor Peter Greenberg will explain. And testimony has started in the preliminary hearing in L.A. against singer David, accused of murdering a teenage girl. Stories in the next 15 minutes. First, a traffic update brought to you by DTLA, the Law Group Accident and Injury Attorneys, and over to Rick Street.
Well, they were able to get this crash over to the right shoulder in North Hollywood, 170 South, past Magnolia. Still kind of stumbling along from about Burbank Boulevard, but traffic is getting better there. Look out up ahead of 101 South, right before we get to Highland. That's where we've got a two-car collision. Looks like the slow lane is blocked. I'm seeing a backup that starts before you get to Barham, so it might be a little bit half far on where this crash is. CHP is still on the way to that one, and then you'll see some more slowing up ahead, starting right about Melrose. Up to slow off and on all the way down to that 110 freeway. If you're headed through Montebello 60 west and San Gabriel Boulevards, where we've got a car, looks like it blew out a tire, lost control, and went over the side of the freeway into a fence there. There's a lot of activity going on. San Gabriel Boulevard off-ramp, so be careful if you're going to get off there. Whittier's north at Whittier Boulevard. You got some debris in the middle lanes there. CHP running a break from Washington to try to get that out of the way. Injured at work? Go to calldowntown.com. Contact Attorney Fareed at DTLA Law Group, 540 Santa Fe Avenue. Results may vary. Get the work injury help you need. Go to calldowntown.com. That's traffic from the Simpson Chevrolet 24-hour traffic center.
We are looking at a cool start to the day in the 60s, but it won't stay that way. Today is our first day of a warming stretch all the way through the end of the week. We're going to be looking at mid to upper 80s for the LA and OC Metro, and upper 90s to about triple digits for our inland communities, with 70s along the coast, who are waking up to a little bit of that marine layer. We've got a heat advisory in effect for Wednesday and an extreme heat watch starting tomorrow through Monday, with our high surf advisory sticking around until tonight. I'm CBS LA meteorologist Marina Joseph for KNX News.
If you're flying next month, it could be a good time to try and move to the front of the plane. Delta and American now offering ways for coach passengers to move up to first-class seats without breaking the bank. Our Mike Simpson and Brian Douglas spoke to KNX News travel editor Peter Greenberg about it.
The airlines are doing everything they can to generate revenue, and if the first-class section is empty, what they're doing is they're now auctioning off the upgrades. They're auctioning off the upgrades to everybody in the plane, not just the mega-frequent flyers, which of course is angering the mega-frequent flyers, because that's why they became mega-frequent flyers, to get those upgrades. But to give you an idea of how crazy it is, they're offering upgrades to first class on some flights for as low as $36. And they're sending emails to everybody who's on the plane about 24 hours before the flight saying, would you like to upgrade, and then quoting that price. So they're filling the first class section, but just getting as little revenue as they possibly can get.
Peter, you've been telling us for a while now, August is going to be the month to do if you're going to travel. Prices are down. You've been telling us that upgrades even cheaper. What if somebody listening right now says, you know what, I have to travel in September? Are prices going to increase in September significantly? Do we know that?
If you'd asked me that a month ago, I would have said yes, but guess what? The softness is continuing into September. We're seeing fare sales right now on Southwest of up to 40% off their base fares, continuing through September. And if Southwest is doing that, they tend to drive the market. Other airlines are probably going to follow suit.
You mentioned the word softness there in the prices. You're also seeing some softness in the cruise industry, but this is like at the top of the scale. These are really nice ships.
Well, they're all nice ships, but this is the luxury ships, like Ritz-Carlton or ships like Orient Express, where cabin prices go for about $3,000 a night if you actually add it all up. Their occupancy levels are ridiculously low right now. In some cases under 20%. And so while they're not discounting yet, something tells you they may have to start to fill those cabins.
Peter, you travel a lot, obviously, and you go all over the world. If someone right now is thinking, you know what, if prices are down on the airline flights, let's take an international flight. Is there any particular route or location or continent that is cheaper now or probably more affordable than usual?
Yeah, you want to think contrarian. And that means Southern Hemisphere right now, because it's their winter, and that's, you want to go skiing in Chile right now. Now's the time to go, and that's going to continue through, let's say, October. Insanity comes there with spring and their summer. So look at Southern Hemisphere, and also look at where the U.S. dollar is strongest against the South African currency, Turkish currency, and even Japanese currency. That's where you're going to find a bargain.
You mean I shouldn't go to Seville where it's 110 in Spain during August?
That would be enough. That would be enough.
All right, again, KNX News travel editor Peter Greenberg. It is 11:50. And EVs, the market really hot right now. Here is Bloomberg's Tom Busby.
Yeah, Larry, AAA today said the average price of a gallon of regular gas nationwide is up to $4.02. Again, that's nationwide. So everyone wants to spend less on gas. That's why prices on used EVs in June up 7.5% from a year ago. Higher for 3 months in a row. That's according to ICCars.com, which also said overall prices for used vehicles actually declined last month, down 1.3%. The biggest price increase year over year, the Tesla Model X. Prices up 17%. Shares of Tesla right now up about 2%, while elsewhere on Wall Street, some pretty big gains in the tech sector today thanks to a rally in chipmaker shares, despite the simmering hostilities between the U.S. and Iran. Right now we have the Dow up 371 points,
That's 0.75% higher. The Nasdaq's up 1.33%, 345 points, and the S&P's up 67. Oil 2% higher today, closed just under $85 a barrel after another tanker was hit in the Strait of Hormuz. And it's a done deal. Lawmakers in France passing a bill that bans children under the age of 15 from accessing social media. A lot of media, a lot of platforms here, not happy about that. I'm Tom Busby from the Just One Touch Money Desk on KNX News.
Oh, Southern California. We have so many things to do. Yeah, you end up spending your free time at home and end up regretting it. That's where Natalie Tavidian comes in and brings you need to get out more. Festivals, food trucks, parades, art shows, weekends, music festivals. If it's worth doing during your free time, Natalie will tell you about it. You need to get out more. Listen, right here, every day on KNX.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter.
Homeowners, need access to the equity in your home but don't want to lose your low mortgage rate? The good news is, you don't have to. With a 5-day HELOC from Devin Lincoln, you can access $100,000 to $750,000 without replacing your current mortgage. Use the money for whatever you want, whether you're paying off high-interest debt, remodeling your home, or investing in real estate. You could have funding in as little as 5 days. There's no appraisal required, no tax returns, a fixed rate, and no prepayment penalties. If your credit score is 640 or higher, with no mortgage rates in the past 12 months, find out how much equity you can access. Call 800-590-9770. That's 800-590-9770. Or apply online at DevinLincoln.com. That's DE. Direct Capital Lending is subject to further approval. NLS number 1987809. DRE number 022549665. See website for licensing terms and conditions. Equal housing lender.
For all station contest rules, go to knxnews.com/rules.
So it's Tuesday, you know what that means.
This taco right here is one of my absolute favorites in all of SoCal. Simply trying to sell their mom's homemade flour tortillas. She makes them fresh down in Tijuana. These guys drive down once a week, pick them up. That thick flour tortilla gets heated, the cheese gets caramelized, then the steak goes down, the Peruvian beans, red onions, cilantro, their own house-made salsa, a scoop of fresh guacamole, and garnished with the roasted jalapeno. This thing weighs a couple pounds. I've only ever eaten one of them. From a sidewalk pop-up back in 2020, now a couple locations, even a drive-through at one of them. I'm usually here at the Inglewood location, right next to Snoop Dogg's store. Absolutely check out Pero 110. You can see the video on Instagram at KNX News. Listen to me, Greg Sims, on KRF 101, and give me a follow on social media, Grub with Greg.
It's 11:55. Let's just hope that some of that shows up in the break room here at KNX News. Sometimes it does, and it's just fantastic.
We can only wish this goes to lunchtime, right?
Yes, I know. All right. Traffic update brought to you by Pacific Coast Metrics.
Well, in the going of path on 101 South Barham, that's where we got that two-car collision. Rolling still blocked. HP has been trying to push this thing out of the way, but it looks like the car is undrivable, and that's what's causing that slowdown. From Lankershim, you do get a bit of a break, but you're going to start seeing brake lights again from Melrose all the way down to that 110 freeway. In Montebello, the 60 West at San Gabriel Boulevard. That's where we've got a car that went over the side of the freeway and into a fence there, and they're thinking the street next to the freeway is where they're going to try to cut through the fence and try to get the car out, but there's a lot of activity going on that right shoulder. Just be careful if you're going to use the San Gabriel off-ramp especially. In Whittier, the 605 north of Whittier Boulevard, the CHP ran a break there, tried to get some debris out of lanes. They did that, and it looks like there's just a little bit of leftover slowing from about Washington. In Boyle Heights is the Sigler Mission Road on-ramp to the 5 South. That is going to be closed until further notice. CHP and local police are doing an investigation on that on-ramp, and they do not know when they're going to get that reopened. Fix your termite problem with no move-out. Seen termite dropping or discarded wings? Call Pacific Coast Termite for a free inspection. If needed, get no gas treatment with a 2-year warranty. Call 800-PACIFIC. That's 800-PACIFIC. Some restrictions apply. That's traffic from the Chevrolet 24-hour traffic center.
Hot today, 70s, 80s, 90s, close to 90 for the metros, and near 100 for the San Fernando Valley. It's 11:57.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-505-3931. 800-505-3931. 800-505-3931.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the one who get it done.
New Gain Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible and fights stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. So you wash that all away with Gain, and now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. Ah, no, that's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever, now with odor-fighting power. New Gain Plus with Oxy.
Oh, hey, Sarah, did you hear my daughter Katie got Camper of the Week?
That's a big deal.
We got a big deal too, right, Mom?
Honey, okay, that Hyundai Santa Fe, I only paid.
Nice. Feels so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days, or 1.9% APR for 72 months on the Hyundai Tucson, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry, offer ends August 3rd. Call 562-314-4603 for details. KNX-FM HD2, Los Angeles. Southern California's news. Preliminary hearing getting underway this morning for the singer known as David. And today is the day measures must be in place for that warehouse stench in Royal Heights. And the LAUSD prepares to begin the next academic year with a new leader. I'm Chris Seaton. Today for Brian Douglas. ABC News covers the world next. Only on KNX. It's 12 noon.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Brandon. A group of 2 young survivors of the late convicted sex offenders Jeffrey Epstein and convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell are urging key Republican Senators Tom Tillis and John Cornyn to vote against confirming Todd Blanche as Attorney General.
Tillis last week had required Blanche to meet with Epstein's victims to secure his vote to move his nomination forward. After that meeting took place, said that Blanche deflected responsibility, interrupted, and gaslit the woman. Only after his confirmation was put at risk. Blanche requires the Cornyn for his nomination to survive. Peter Harlabus, ABC News.
The U.S. has carried out 10 straight days of airstrikes targeting Iranian sites. Iran also attacked at U.S. sites in the region. The President Trump says Iran will pay for the strikes at a U.S. base in Jordan that killed 2 U.S. service members Friday. On Capitol Hill this hour, Pentagon officials are briefing lawmakers asking for pay for the war. ABC's Jay O'Brien says Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is among those appearing at an appropriations hearing.
This is what lawmakers really on both sides of the aisle view as the only oversight that they're going to be able to conduct over this war. Not a vote, not a war powers vote, the way that we've seen some successful and some go down in the Senate, and certainly not, in the words of even some Republicans, criticism directed at the White House. It's going to be, many lawmakers tell me in their view, the power of the purse strings that Congress has that will really give them the ability, in their view, to conduct oversight over this war.
The FDA is still trying to confirm the source of the cyclosporiasis outbreak across states in the U.S. The investigation focusing on lettuce and testing samples from Taylor Farms sourced in Mexico. The company issuing a recall, it says, out of an abundance of caution. You're listening to ABC News.
From the DTLA Law Group Injury Health Studio, this is Southern California's news. KNX 12:02 on your lunch hour. It's Tuesday, July 21st. Proceedings with Brian Douglas. This is the KNX Lunch Hour, sponsored by the Ozerron Law Injured Workers Hotline. Testimony now underway in the hearing to determine whether there's sufficient evidence to require singer David Anthony Burke to stand trial. Burke, known in the music world as David, he's accused of killing Celeste Rivas. Her dismembered body found in the trunk of a car registered to him in a Hollywood tow yard last September. Today, an LAPD officer testified about the day the body was found and the gruesome details of what police saw when they opened that front truck of that test vehicle. Prosecutors showed graphic photos of the trunk and the images that showed a blue plastic fragments embedded in the victim's right knee. David has pled not guilty. Deadline is today for Lineage Logistics to address that foul odor coming from its warehouse in Boyle Heights. We get more on that. Here's Karen Adams.
The stench of rotting food is still very much pervasive here around the Lineage Logistics warehouse more than a month after the fire.
And especially in the morning and late evening, midnight, is when the smell picks up.
State regulators have received nearly 1,000 complaints about the foul odor that's led to an infestation of rats and flies. And it's led many, like this mother of two, to take up the city's offer of staying at an Airbnb.
I have 2 little ones. The smell is horrible for them. It's summer. I can't even bring them outside, so we've been doing Airbnbs. But since being here, we've been extremely with headaches, nausea, stomach aches. So it's just unbearable, the smell.
The company has taken steps to reduce the horrible smell here as it continues to remove the more than 85 million pounds of now rotting food that was kept here. However, state regulators last week gave the company a deadline to take several more key actions to eliminate the stench or face even more penalties and violation notices since the fire. In Boyle Heights, I'm Karen Adams, KNX News.
We're now less than a month away from the start of the next school year, with the LAUSD preparing to begin the academic year with a new leader. More from Craig Figner.
LA Unified Superintendent of Schools, Andres E. Chase.
For LAUSD's new superintendent is being investigated by the FBI. Superintendent Chase spoke to hundreds of LAUSD principal school leaders about the upcoming school year. Did so from Garfield High here in East LA.
You've led through a pandemic, through shifting expectations, evolving student needs, immigration enforcement, declining enrollment, budget challenges, and increasing complexity in every aspect of your work, and to do it in environments that continue to change.
The new superintendent also acknowledged the safety concerns at that burned-out warehouse in Boyle Heights.
I need to acknowledge the Lineage warehouse fire and the impact it's had on Boyle Heights and the surrounding community. Please know we've been actively monitoring, taking proactive measures throughout the summer to keep our campuses safe and ready for the opening of the new school year.
This is technically the first day of the school year, but not for students. It's for staff and teachers and principals. Students return to class August 12th. I'm Craig Figner, KNX News.
12:05, let's get you over to the Simpson Chevrolet Group Traffic Center. Good afternoon, Rick Smith.
Good afternoon. Let's get over to a crash in Linwood on the 105 east at Long Beach Boulevard. 2-car accident. 1 car made it to the right shoulder. The other one is kind of sideways between the carpool lane and the fast lane there. I'm starting to see some slowing toward Wilmington, downtown LA, the 10 west connector to the 110 north. That's where we've got a disabled car that's blocking one of the lanes of that transition. That slows down before you get to Alameda on the 10 west. Eastbound pretty jammed from Western as you try to make your way onto that 110 north. Wanga Pass. They did finally get this crash out of the way on the 101 South past Barham. I'm still seeing a little bit of sluggish traffic from Lancashire, but it's definitely getting better there. Montebello 60 west at San Gabriel Boulevard. Car went over the side and into a fence there. You got a lot of activity going on the shoulder. Also, Chris, on the 60 west, right at Crossroads Parkway, that's where it looks like CHP's got all lanes stopped. They're going to get Caltrans set up. They're going to repair some guardrail there, and that's what's causing that slowdown from 7th Avenue.
All right, Rick, thank you. Currently, we've got mostly sunny skies near lunch hour. It's 84 degrees along LA's Miracle Mile at 1207. Back now to the Sir David, as a hearing is now underway to determine whether he should stand trial for the killing of that 14-year-old girl, Celeste Rivas. Our John Baird was in the courtroom this morning. He joins us now live. John?
And that's right. The defendant was there in an orange jail jumpsuit and sitting at the table as an LAPD about the day he was called to a tow yard where the body of the young victim, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, was found dismembered in a trunk in several bags, including a body bag and another bag. The detective talked about how they were called out because of an odor, and he went there, the front trunk of the Tesla, a black Tesla, registered Emmitsburg in Texas, and inside were the remains that were ultimately identified as Celeste Hernandez. They showed some gruesome photographs, and he talked about dealing with the evidence there. He also talked about cell phone evidence and the defendant's phone being connected to the Tesla, and about his car being parked for a long time near his home before it was ultimately towed. The detective was still on the stand. He'd been on the stand for a couple of hours. When they broke for lunch, he will be back after the break to be on the witness stand again. Chris?
All right, John, thank you. John Baird reporting for us. The Trump administration announcing today that it's withholding more than $1 billion in Medicaid funding to California and Minnesota. This decision is linked to what the agency calls concerns over suspect claims. It's deferring more than $865 million in Medicaid funding to California and close to $200 million in Minnesota. The agency says the money can be unlocked, but only if the two states prove that it was used for legitimate services. A man is now under arrest after leading police on about a 45-minute chase this morning. Santa Monica police asked the CHP to stop a black Range Rover just after 7 this morning because the driver was allegedly involved in a road rage incident a couple of weeks ago. The SUV reached speeds topping 100 miles per hour. This chase finally ended just before 8 a.m. this morning in South San Gabriel when an officer pushed a cruiser into the SUV. Summer is a time for fun, relaxation for most people, and car thieves, they take advantage of that. They strike the most during our summer months. More than 650,000 cars were stolen across the nation last year alone. George Baker is the global vehicle security lead for General Motors. He tells us nearly half of those thefts were because drivers left a key fob inside the vehicle or left it running unattended.
Protect your keys like they're an envelope full of $100 bills. Do what you would with your keys that you would with that envelope.
Baker says take other common sense measures as well, like keeping valuables out of plain view and hiding your tire wheel lock key.
You want to make sure that you protect your vehicle. Park it smart, if you will. If you have a garage, get the vehicle inside, lock it up, take the keys with you, close the door, and you've got that extra level or layer of protection there.
Baker says thieves target both newer and older models. Authorities shut down a large mansion party in the San Fernando Valley last night, a party that attracted more than 1,000 people. The LAPD says they received multiple calls regarding this gathering. This was on Mecca Avenue in Tarzana, the first coming in around 4:30 in the afternoon. Some video obtained by KTLA shows an LAPD airship flying over the area with officers announcing over a PA system, if you're on the sidewalk, you didn't make the cut, go home. Neighbors say the upscale home where the event was hosted is often the site of large, loud gatherings. Police say there were no injuries or any arrests. You can get tickets now for the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art that opens in late September. The museum has been under construction for a long time. The the last 8 years, in fact. This is in Exposition Park next to the Coliseum. It's the vision of Star Wars creator George Lucas and his wife Melody Hobson. We got more info on the tickets from the museum's CEO, Tracy Bates.
You can get those on lucasmuseum.org. We will have tickets on sale through February 2027. That's our initial launch. And obviously we still have tickets available for founding members throughout all of our openings. So we're very excited about that as well. It's $25 for a ticket. There are many ways to access free tickets as well. We're thrilled that children 17 and under can always come for free to the museum.
The museum traces the history of storytelling through art, from cave paintings to comic books. One of the opening exhibitions is called Star Wars in Motion, featuring props, costumes, and vehicle designs from the first 6 films in the movie franchise. We've got Rick Smith standing by the traffic center. We've got a check of your noon hour traffic next.
Did you know the IRS can fine you 25% of your own retirement money just for missing a deadline? It's called a required minimum distribution, and if you're not ready for it, it can push you into a higher tax bracket, raise your Medicare premiums, and trigger a tax bill that you never saw coming. I'm Anthony Sicaro, founder of Providence Financial. You may know me from my radio show, my podcast, or my appearances on CNBC and Fox Business. For over a quarter of a century, I've helped people turn that surprise tax bill into a plan that they control. If you're a KNX listener, age 55 or older, with more than $500,000 saved, I want to send you my Amazon #1 bestseller, More Life Than Money, absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how to navigate required minimum distributions without the penalty and keep more of what you've saved. Just go to morelifethanmoneybook.com and enter promo code KNX to claim your free copy while supplies last. Again, that's morelifethanmoneybook.com, promo code KNX.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
It's Mike Simpson here. You're looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? You can now get Advanced Hair's breakthrough one-day treatment during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees that it's going to grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar. Get the most hair for your dollar during this once-yearly event. Details and a free consultation, 844-333-HAIR, 844-333-HAIR. Before and after pictures, go and see those. AdvancedHair.com.
Football is back.
We're not here to read you box scores.
Everything changes. This is the day that I'm going to have to be running away from Altair.
Rams defensive coordinator Chris Shula is somewhere popping champagne because this is better than Christmas.
And the new 97.1 The Fan is the home for Rams fans.
I would not hear about any of this on any other radio stations, and I only got 97.1 on my preset now.
Hey guys, it's Quinton Lake, DB for the Los Angeles Rams. Check out 97.1 The Fan.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. You've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Now, pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Good afternoon, I'm Chris Edens. Coming up, a popular music festival is coming back to Southern California. We'll tell you about all the popular bands performing. Brian Ping with more on that in just a couple of minutes. And prosecutors here in Los Angeles now laying out their case against the singer David, who's accused of murdering a teenage girl. These stories and more on the way. Right now it is 12:15. Let's get another check of traffic, and this update sponsored by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Here again is Rick Smith.
Looks like they swept this accident over to the right shoulder in Linwood, the 105 East at Long Beach Boulevard. It was in the fast lane. That's why you're getting that sluggish traffic from about Wilmington in Culver City, the 405 South before the 90 Marina Freeway. Sister Hans, who called in on the KNX bottling into oil change traffic tip line at 844 KNX News, spotted a disabled big rig that's going to be in the middle lane. He said the driveway is not very far, kind of walking around. Just be careful if you're going to head through there. Overall, it's kind of a tough trip on that 405 South from about Wilshire if you're leaving West LA. In downtown LA, the 10 West connector to the 110 North, trying to get a stalled car out of lanes in that transition. That's backing up traffic on the westbound 10 to about Alameda. The Eastbound side, you're going to be slowing down right at Western. That's a pretty jammed up drive all the way through that. The best team, the most fun, the best casino resort in the Southland is Morongo Casino Resort and Spa, just 90 minutes from wherever you are. Morongo, good times. SoCal's only reliable traffic reports every 10 minutes on the 5s from the Simpson Chevrolet 24-hour traffic center.
So we are looking at mid to upper 80s today for the LA and OC Metro, upper 90s, triple digit for our inland communities, and it will get hotter and hotter. Thursday will be our hottest day of the week. We have an extreme heat watch in effect starting tomorrow through Monday, with our high surf advisory continuing until tonight for dangerous rip currents and waves of up to 8 feet. So unfortunately, we're going to get that summer heat back in full force as we head into the rest of this week. I'm CBS LA meteorologist Marina Jurica for KNX News.
It's warm out there. Let's see. We've got our Northridge right now at 86 degrees, 83 in Van Nuys, 81 degrees at Fullerton. Currently, it's 84, mostly sunny here along LA's Miracle Mile at 1217. Popular music festival will be rocking Long Beach in a matter of days. Let's get more now. Here's Brian Peng.
Wake up calling new music from Papa Roach, one of 125 plus bands playing this weekend at the Vans Warped Long Beach Music Festival, and I am so pleased to be joined by the one, the only Megan Holiday from down the hall at K-Rock. Megan, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing so good. Thank you so much for having me on.
I am so happy to have you down here to talk about this, because so many of these bands, going back to my day and also today, at Papa Roach, I saw perform at Almost Acoustic Christmas, and
Yes.
they brought it.
Oh.
They were awesome.
They are so incredible, and there's so many bands like Jimmy Eat World, All Time Low. We have locals like Joyce Manor, Third Eye Blind will be there. There's so many bands, and there's a lot of nostalgia here as well. Bands like Real Big Fish and Steve Ferris, and just a ton of bands who really were there in the beginning of the Warped Tour days as well. So I'm really excited for this weekend.
Yeah, I remember it back in my high school days. I'm class of 99, and this tour has some staying power. It's a big deal, and I'm just looking at this endless list of acts, and this is going to be a fun time.
Oh, it's going to be so fun. And K-Rock, we're going to be there broadcasting live and doing interviews all weekend long, which is
Life of the Party. It's about people dealing with the fentanyl crisis in this country, and it is still such a heartbreaking and awful problem for the country, but it's a feeling like we're finally starting to make some progress. And I think a big part of that is because of one of the main missions of Life of the Party, normalize the use of naloxone, Narcan, and I think that is, you're helping make a difference here.
Thank you so much. Thanks for saying that. And I do think that we have seen a decrease in the amounts of overdose. I think that the numbers are really showing that, and I think a big part of that is because of the normalizing of naloxone or Narcan, people learning how to use it, people getting more comfortable with how to use it. And so we go out to community events and music festivals, we teach people on how to use it, and we try to make it something that's not scary. We want to make it so they feel comfortable doing it if they have to.
Was there a stigma behind it in the early days before, when people were still trying to figure out what this was? Okay, it's the spray. I don't want to be associated or be out as like fentanyl user, but these people really need it. There should be no shame involved in taking that step to literally save themselves.
Yeah, a lot of people come to the booth and even still, and they'll be like, well, I don't party, I don't need this. And we go, that's exactly perfect. We need you to be the hero, We found out that we've saved about 10 or 11 lives that we know of that have been saved from our Narcan being used, including being used one time last year at Warped Tour and saving someone.
That is amazing. It's a Vans Warped Long Beach, Shoreline Waterfront, this weekend. And, this is just all about, it's Southern California summer. I mean, it is the very representation of what it's all about.
100%. It's just good vibes. It's community coming together.
Megan, this was fun. Let's do it again sometime.
Thank you so much, friend. This was awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Megan Holiday, our friend from down the hall at K-Rock.
12:20 now on KNX. Check of your money and a huge settlement over pirated books used to train AI. Here's Tom Busby.
Yeah, Chris, a federal judge in San Francisco approving a $1.5 billion copyright settlement that the AI company Anthropic will have to pay out to thousands of authors. That's for using their books to train its Claude chatbot without getting their permission. There could be more of these trials coming up. With big tech earnings kicking off tomorrow from Alphabet and Tesla, investors today are buying up chip makers and AI-related stocks. That's why on Wall Street, right now the Dow's up 372 points, 0.75% higher. The Nasdaq up 329, 1 1/3% higher, and the S&P is up 65. Oil higher today to around $85 a barrel. The candy giant Mars Wrigley, the maker of some of your favorites, M&M's, Snickers, Skittles, more. Well, it's moving its headquarters from New Jersey to Chicago, and with that move, it's going to cut costs by cutting more than 300 of those workers by October. ESPN is also laying off workers as a result of spending $3 billion last year to acquire the NFL Network and its digital assets. I'm Tom Busby from the Just One Touch Money Desk on KNX News.
Every day we're inundated with news.
They want to make it
And
real
we
with
do
us
have
very
some
badly.
shelter. So much, it's not always clear what to make of it. Listen for KNX Explain as we break down the headlines and give you the answers to make sense of what's going on in Southern California and the world.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So, I put this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Summertime is all about getting together and getting out and doing things, having some new adventures. But foot pain, that can stop you in your tracks. Hi, it's Margaret Cordero. Before I got my good feet and tight ankles, which by the end of the day had completely zapped me of my energy, and that made me not want to do much of anything at all. These days, though, I am looking for more stuff to do. I recently went to my first concert of the summer. It was outdoors. It was a beautiful evening. I had a blast because I was on my feet most of the night, singing along to every song, but more importantly, dancing. And that's thanks to my Good Feet Arch Support. They fit in your own shoes. I had mine in my boots. I went to the Pasadena location. You can find one near you at goodfeet.com. And while the 4th of July may be behind us, you can still declare independence from foot problems with Good Feet Arch Support.
Rick Smith standing by the traffic center. We'll check your lunch hour drive in just about a minute. But first, the Ojai Raptor Center in Ventura County has received a fast influx of donations to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars, in fact. It's because of its wildlife center that took in Jackie. Jackie, of course, one half of the beloved bald eagle couple known as Jackie and Shadow. She was rescued out of the Big Bear 3 days ago. Jackie found flightless after she was repeatedly attacked by a couple of young bald eagles. Wildlife experts say Jackie didn't suffer. We talked about it with our colleague Derek Fisher of 97.1 The Fan. Derek says he doesn't.
しゃいませ。いらっしゃいませ。本日のお客様、JL16 便です。ただいまダウンタウン旋回中です。風すごいこれ。飛行機のジェット気流みたいなやつかな。いつもより1時間ちょっと遅れで到着ですね。 今日すごい天気から遠くから飛行塔見えてます。これは違う飛行機じゃないかな。これはエアフランス。エアフランスのボーイング777。エアフランス。エアフランス。遠くに飛行塔見えてきました。うわー、このすごいですよね、これ。飛行機が通った後の風。飛行機が通った後の風、すごいですよ。多分この風が収まる感覚で次の飛行機が着陸してくるんですよね。そんな感じ。はい、そろそろ見えてきました。はい、本日のお客様、JAL、JL16 便です。まもなく見えてきます。JAL16 便、JL16 便、JAL の JL16 便です。いらっしゃいませ。いらっしゃいませ。はい、いらっしゃいませ。いらっしゃいませ。いらっしゃいませ。いらっしゃいませ。LA にようこそ。あ、ボタン押しちゃった。はい、ただいま着陸です。JAL16 便、いらっしゃいませ。いらっしゃいませ。ただいま着陸。ちょっとボタン間違えて押しちゃった。はい、いらっしゃいませ。いらっしゃいませ。無事着陸ですね。LA にようこそ。すごい。はい、次はあなたの番です。次はあなたの番です。お待ちしてます。それでは、はい、お客さん迎えにターミナルの中に入ります。